Thank you very much. So the next session, you've been given printout, which is brilliant. The next session is really to help parents to navigate, and also students as well, but to navigate through this whole journey and what you can do to help your child, and what should the children do themselves to help themselves as well, right? So it's really helping a child in senior school to map their career. Now, very important, when you think about career, especially for us as parents, we're always constantly making sure that our children have a good career. But I think we're more interested in jobs, so that they have secure jobs, so that they have good jobs, they have good opportunities in life. That, I think, as parents, that's what we want. But I think it's very important to understand the landscape of career has changed. You probably have read that a lot in the news and everything. Jobs have changed. Landscape of careers has changed. By 2040, things are going to change dramatically in terms of jobs. In fact, one of the highest earning profession, maybe even robot therapists, right? Things are going to change. It has already changed, but things are going to change even more over the course of the next few years. It's very important to understand work, the work element, because career, the reason why we all want to have a career is because we want to have purpose in life, right? But for parents as well as students, you want something which has job security, job fulfillment. You want to have good opportunities so that you have a good life later on. That's why we have careers. That's why we work. But it's very important to understand work, and it's very important to understand career, and it's very important to understand the course for the career. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so it's very important to understand work, career, and then you understand how to get to that position with your career, right? Just before I start, I just want to share with you. Do you know who Mr. Bean is? Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson. Well, guess which university did he go to? Anybody can guess which university did he go to? Oxford University, to do engineering, right? So engineering at Oxford becomes a comedian, right? And then becomes a millionaire, right? Like in films, right? So basically, and another person, have you heard of Borat from Kazakhstan? No, he's also a film, is also, he went to Cambridge, right? And then he's gone on to become into film, and then he's very popular. He earns a lot of money. The thing I want to share with you is that your course doesn't mean that will be the work you do. You discover your passion gives you skills and knowledge. So, in traditional times when I was growing up, my parents were very much like, you study medicine, you become a doctor. You study biology, you become a biologist. You study engineering, become an engineer. You study law, you'll be a lawyer. Very linear, right? The problem is nowadays it's changed. It's now no longer linear. It's evolving. It's complex. It's so many multi-layers, right? So for example, I had a student who, I remember when I first met her, her mother said she wanted to be a chef. She wants to go to Cordon Bleu to study culinary because she likes cooking. Mother's like, no, you can't do that. Mother is from Malaysia, Asian parents, you cannot be a chef, right? You are going to go to university, I don't care. So the mother was arguing with the daughter was arguing, but this is my passion, I want to study chef, I want to be a cook, right? So the mother cannot accept that, right? So what I said to them is, look, I said to the girl, your passion is culinary, right? That is a skill. That's a skill. But do you have the knowledge to back the skill, right? Knowledge plus skill. So why don't you apply for accounting and finance, get to the best university for accounting and finance, and then you can go and do culinary studies for a year or two in Cordon Bleu. So the mother is happy, daughter is happy. The mother is happy in terms of, she has a university degree, right? But for the daughter, what she's done is she's combined knowledge and skill together. So she's learned accounting and finance. She got into LSE, which is one of the most difficult university to get in for economics related courses. Then she went on to study culinary arts, because bottom line is most students nowadays will not just have an undergraduate degree. You will have masters. You will have professional studies. You might do a PhD. You're no longer just doing undergraduate studies. And also getting into university is not that difficult. There are many universities around the world. But getting into the right university for the right course, for the right opportunities, the right platform, that is key, because education to a certain extent has become commercialized as well, right? So going to the right university is very, very important. So with this girl, just going back to her, she then did accounting and finance at LSE. She finished, then she went to Cordon Bleu, studied culinary arts, and then went on to open her own chain of restaurants, right? So she used her knowledge and her skill to become such a powerful individual in her own right. And that is what she wanted to do, right? And this is why I'm saying knowledge and skill both together, very, very crucial. That is what top education gives you. Knowledge itself will not last you for a long time, but knowledge and skill will last you for a long time. So we have to change our way of thinking about this course leads to this career leads to this job. No. What we need to think about is, what is your interest right now at this stage? What is your interest? What course you want to study at university? And then let the university, after that, the platform, allow you to explore different avenues. I had a student who went to do mathematics at Cambridge. Then he did for undergraduate. Then he did master's at computer science at Imperial. Then he went to MIT to do management financial engineering, and now he's working for SpaceX in management and in engineering, both. So he's done financial engineering. So very different to what he started off from maths, right? From mathematics. But the mathematics course itself gave him the skill and the knowledge to then pursue an evolving complex career rather than a linear career. That, I think, is very important. So I want to just share with you something about work first. Today, we have technology that has made our lives easier. Machinery does jobs that often people used to do, but yet we are still working long hours. We are still working longer than ever before. This was James Sussman in 2020, right? Why is this happening? Why do we spend a huge amount of our time at work? Why do we do that? Well, this is something by James Sussman. He says, when economists define work as the time and effort we spend meeting our needs and wants, they dodge two obvious problems. The first, that often the only thing that differentiates work from leisure is context, and whether we are being paid to do something or we are paying to do it, right? That is what differentiates between work and leisure, whether we are being paid to do or we are paying to do it. The second problem is that beyond the energy we expend to secure our most basic needs, food, water, air, warmth, companionship, and safety, there is very little that is universal about what constitutes a necessity. What is necessity for you? What do you want to achieve? There's very little about that. So work is not just an exchange of resources. Work is beyond that. So why do we do work? Work provides us meaning. It has status. It is a means to gain wealth. It is to follow leisure, perhaps even academic curiosity. It can be a way to obtain power, utilizing skills and learning more. So that's why we work. That's the reason why we work. And the work and the job market is changing. The definition of work is changing, right? And that is why we have to be very careful when we select a course at university, right? You may or may not have a specific career in mind, and that's okay. I had a student who did law at Cambridge University. Once she graduated, she came to me and she said, I want to now study medicine. So she went to do 4-year medical graduate. So now she has law and medicine, right? Right? It's like 2 degrees because she has that, she evolved her passion. And that is why we cannot be fixed. It's not a fixed mindset, it's a growth mindset. So we're always growing each time. And that is key. That is why we have the thinking skills, right? So vocational, what is the difference between vocational and academic curiosity? If you choose a vocational course, it's because you know you want a specific career. So if you go to do medicine at university, you know you want to be a doctor at the end. That is a vocational career. Vocational doesn't mean working apprenticeship, like technical stuff. That's not what I mean by vocational. A vocational degree is something that you know what the career is going to look like. You may not do that career. I have a friend who did medicine at Cambridge, and now he runs his own business. Right? He did medicine 6 years and then he's running his own business, right? So people change, people kind of think evolve that. But after 6 years of medicine, more often you will end up being a doctor, because 6 years is a long time to study and you probably end up being a doctor anyway. But vocational, you are doing this to secure a specific career. Academic curiosity, you simply enjoy this subject and want to pursue this further at university. So you need to decide what type of course you want, vocational or academic curiosity. Vocational means you are dead certain you know the career. Academic curiosity, you don't know your career. You go and study economics, you might go and do engineering in the future. You go and study engineering, you might go and do economics in the future, finance. I did natural science at university. I shouldn't be here today, right? Yes, okay, so things will evolve, things will change. So you need to understand which one you fall under, academic curiosity or vocational. And it's okay to go into academic curiosity. Sometimes parents say to me, my son wants to do a maths degree. Does that mean he will be a maths teacher? And I just look at them and I think, you have no idea how useful, powerful a maths degree is. It doesn't mean you will be a maths teacher. Maths degree opens up to corporate companies. It opens up to finance companies, MIT, you go to SpaceX, SpaceX, you go to so many different industries. It doesn't mean you end up with becoming a maths teacher. Same thing with the chemistry degree. Same thing with the physics degree. I have students in my college take physics, maths. In fact, if my son wants to do a maths degree, I would be very happy. Maths degree, it's like really, maths is very hard to do at university, and yet it's so powerful tool for whatever career. So that means you're doing something for academic curiosity. So you got to decide what you want. And for parents, please don't worry. If your child says they want to do a maths degree, they're not going to end up being a maths teacher. And even if they do end up as a maths teacher, even if they do, but they went to Oxford or Cambridge or Imperial, and then they go on to go to MIT stuff, they will be a hell of a maths teacher earning very top money, right? So it's all about, once you decide, number one, number two, you go to the best universities. But you got to decide that first, right? Okay. So as parents, this is what you're going to need to support your children to make a decision, either number one or number two. Very simple. Can you think of any vocational or academic curiosity courses? Well, I've given some examples, but anyone can think of, I gave medicine as an example, any other vocational degrees? I think you already have the slide, so I'm going to just go on. So medicine is a vocational degree. Architecture is a vocational degree. Law is a vocational degree. Engineering is a vocational degree. Business is also a vocational degree. However, I must say, for law and engineering, they could also evolve in other jobs as well, right? Medicine, normally, to be honest, because it's 6 years, architecture is also very long, the students end up being doctors or architects. Now, academic curiosity, history, chemistry, archaeology, anthropology. You won't believe archaeology and anthropology is such a good subject to have at university. It actually opens your door to MBAs and all sorts of things in the future after you finish that, right? Philosophy, politics, and economics. Every prime minister in the UK has done this degree. Philosophy, politics, and economics. And to be honest with you, I have to say this. These subjects are very tough. It's even tougher than you do the sciences. You know why? For international students, because these subjects are factual. This one, you have to think, you have to analyze. Because you think about it, when you choose politicians for your, like right now in the UK, we have Rishi Sunak and we have Liz Truss, right? Both of them have different economic policies, both of them. They are making different assumptions about their economy. They are giving different analysis, right? So the person who convinces me the most in terms of the arguments is the person I'm going to vote for, right? But actually, there's no right or wrong. It's just an analysis. It's an assumption. It's like they are fortune tellers, right? They are predicting the future. To predict the future, you have to have analytical mind. You have to have a data mind, logical mind. So it's really tough. It's not based on facts. Not 1 + 1 gives you 2. 1 plus 1, you're making assumptions. It could be 11, right? It could be 22. You just don't know, right? You're making assumptions, but you are based it on particular data, particular way. So this is actually quite tough. It's not straightforward, right? So these are vocational versus academic curiosity, right? So when you do non-vocational courses, you gain transferable skills. You can even pursue vocational courses after graduating. So for example, if you go back here, if you do chemistry degree, hypothetically, and then you do a 1-year law conversion, you can become a lawyer. So some courses, you can, from academic curiosity, you can convert to vocational for some courses. That's also available, right? But at least at university, you do what you have an interest. If you have an interest in history, you can do a 1-year law conversion later on. Or you can do an MBA, right? So there's so many conversions you can do. Generally speaking, half of the lawyers did not study law as their undergraduate programs. This is very true for lawyers. They don't do law. They do other degrees, and then they do a law conversion. Focus on the quality of the university, right? Once you decide whether it's 1 or 2, then you go to the best university for the courses that you want to do. 67% of UK workers claim that their current role has little to nothing relating to their degree. But that doesn't matter, because it's the skill and the knowledge combined together is what's important for your career, for your work, right? So that is important. So for me, I went to, my experience at Cambridge has given me the skill, has given me the knowledge to last for a lifetime. Therefore, it doesn't matter what work I do. I don't need to apply that situation every day. I don't need to apply my knowledge every day, but I definitely can apply the skill, right? So that's why skills is so crucial. So this is where career mapping comes up. So career mapping involves a process of selecting a university and then planning a successful roadmap. So as I said, each journey is personal. Do this as early as you can. Do not be afraid to change your mind. But ultimately, you have to make up your mind one way or the other. You have to make a decision. By the time you are the end of year 12, you have to make a decision, right? In fact, the sooner you can make a decision, the more strategic you become, the more likelihood you can get into top university. So those of you who are in year 9, year 10, the first decision is choose the right GCSE subjects. That's the first decision. When you go to year 11, then the next decision is choose the right subjects for A-levels or IB, right? So the sooner you can make the decision of either number 1 or number 2, which career group, then the more you can be more strategic with your whole university application. This is a very good book if you want to read that, The Squiggly Career. The #1 Sunday Times business bestseller, The Squiggly Career. Ditch the ladder, discover opportunity, design your career. I told you today, start reading from today. So this could be the first book if you can find online, read that. Okay, there are 27 top UK universities, 24 in the Russell Group. Within the Russell Group, you have Oxbridge and G5, okay? So sometimes the university is not as important as the course, like medicine. Because to become a doctor, I've never seen an unemployed doctor, okay? So to be a doctor, you need to be very competitive for international students. So sometimes courses like medicine, it doesn't matter which university you go to. What matters is you become a doctor, right? So especially if you go to a good university in the UK. So sometimes you don't have to aim for G5 like for medicine, but other courses like engineering, yes, aim for G5. Okay, be strategic, look at admission tests, look at interview process. There are great universities around the world. Even if you don't study in the UK, you study the best universities around the world, you can diversify your portfolio. Always look at location, teaching quality, academic research, reputation, student experience, graduate prospects, affordability. Always look at these considerations when you're looking at choosing universities, okay? Because some universities are more expensive. Like I remember one girl who got into Cambridge Medicine. The mother was so happy until she received the fee. So she said £70,000. She looked at me, she was like, thank you very much for getting my child into Cambridge. But now I'm going to find £70,000 a year. Right? But she said to me, don't worry, I'll find a way. I also remember another boy who got into Cambridge. He's from Albania. And I remember when he first came to the college, the first month he was really struggling because he sat in a room with Hong Kong students who were so good in maths. He was doing maths, further maths, physics, chemistry. So he came to me after the end of the third week. He came to see me. He said, Miss, I am doing one question in 1 hour. The Hong Kong students are doing 10 questions in 1 hour. This is crazy. I used to be the best student in my school. What is happening here? I said, yes, you are now a small fish in a big pond, right? That's what happens, right? That's always what happens. But I said to him, you have two choices, because you always have to think about the alternative, right? What is your choice? You either persevere, or the alternative is you give up. That's the only two options. There's nothing else you can do. So if you persevere, we'll help you, we'll support you, or you can give up. It's entirely up to you. That young man persevered. He had obviously lots of support. He did work very hard. He ended up getting the second place for further maths. He had the best results in maths, second place for further maths, overall the best results. But wait, the best thing about this story, he got into Cambridge. But not only he got into Cambridge, he got in with full scholarship. And that year, only 11 students were given full scholarship, and 2 were my students, one from Vietnam, one from Albania. They both got full scholarship. When I met his father in Albania, his father said, thank you so much for the scholarship. I don't care about Cambridge engineering. It's the scholarship that matters because it's too expensive. So affordability is also an issue. I must say, student experience, by the way, if you look at student experience, LSE has very low student satisfaction. It's one of the lowest student satisfaction. You know who's top student satisfaction? Anybody knows? Which university has the best student satisfaction? Coventry. Would you go to Coventry? Right? So student satisfaction is different. Basically, what happens is universities like LSE, universities like Oxford, Cambridge has very low student satisfaction. Why? Because they want you to be self-learners. They want to treat you and train you to be self-learners. And the problem is students are not prepared for that. They're so prepared of spoon feeding that when you get to university, you're like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm lost. I don't know what to do. Because all our lives as parents, we provide them coaching. We get teachers to help them, right? We try to get them help. Every stage they need, we try to get them help. But then the problem is when they get to university, they have to be self-learners, and they're not self-learners, which is why the best education is to prepare them to be self-learners. Because when they get to university, everything falls in place. But that's why Cambridge and LSE have very low student satisfaction. But does that mean you want to apply that? I don't think so, right? You're not going to go to Coventry suddenly just because they have a high student satisfaction, right? Now, the next thing is how to choose A-level subjects, okay? And IB subjects as well. But GCSEs obviously is broader because GCSEs is based on what the school tells you to choose. But A-level, you have the choice. So how do you choose A-level subjects? You have to go by interest, strength, future plans, subject category, requirements of specific universities. These are the categories you have to go by. So very important to understand, there is a big jump from GCSE to A-levels, big jump. GCSE to IB, big jump. Because GCSE is school age leaving. So the education minister say, this is your school age leaving, so they expect you to have certain knowledge. But when you go to A-level is like, it's not compulsory, it's up to you. So the A-level curriculum is a lot more broader and more in-depth. So there's a huge, big jump. I had parents who came to me, who said to me after the first term, my child had straight A stars in GCSE. Why are they struggling at A-level, at AS? Because there is a big jump. Because the education, I give you an example, right? In chemistry, I don't know whether some of the students have done this. In chemistry at GCSE, they lie to you. Do you know what they lie to you? They tell you that you have, electrons. You have electrons, 288. Yes? You learn that, 288? That's a lie. Right? That's a lie. Because in A-level, the electron configuration uses ionization energy, and you have orbitals. Yes, and that is how the electrons jump. You don't learn that at GCSE, but you have to learn that at A level. Now, when I say they lie to you, it's not that they're lying to you, it's just they're making your life easier, right, at GCSE. But when you go to A level, you have to learn in depth. When you go to university, it's even more in depth, right? So this is why there is a big jump. Each time there's a big jump. Your current GCSE subjects are not your only A-level options. Explore all available choices. So just because you don't do the subject at GCSE, so for example, if you have an interest in psychology and you haven't done psychology at GCSE, don't worry, you can do A-level psychology, right? Because psychology is a writing skill, is a learning skill. Now, if you haven't done computer science at GCSE, you want to do computer science. Computer science is based on maths. You would have definitely done maths or further maths, right? So then you can do computer science at A level. So it's very important to determine first the course and the career so you can choose the right subjects. Don't follow your friends or your older siblings. Remember, it's a personalized journey. Don't choose a narrow combination, even if it makes your life easier. I have parents who tell me they choose economics, business studies, maths, and further maths. You're going to get rejected because economics and business studies is too narrow. Universities want to see breadth of skills, writing skills, analytical skills, problem-solving skills. So don't do too narrow subjects, right? And try to avoid a lesser subject like media studies and all that, like subject categories. So for example, these are academic subjects. These are called facilitating subjects, okay? Very important subjects. So this will keep your options open for most career, all three career groups that we talked about before. You should aim to have at least one subject from this list. For top universities, 2 or even more. This is a very important subject. You see no business studies here, right? So this is really important. These are called facilitating subjects, okay? I think you have the printout, right? This is very important. Then you have useful subjects, classics, English language, government politics, philosophy, psychology, religious studies, sociology. So you can do 2 facilitating or 3 facilitating and 1 useful, right? Or 2 facilitating and 2 useful subjects. So 2 plus 2 or 3 plus 1 if you're doing 4 subjects. If you're doing 3 subjects, 2 plus 1. Okay, so always remember 2 plus 1 or 2 plus 2. Nothing less than that if you're aiming for top universities. Okay, then you've got less useful subject. Please avoid this. Business studies, drama, film studies, law, media studies. Do not do them. Avoid them. Just avoid them. Trust me, avoid them, right? Now you might think, oh, I should do law if I want to study law. No. Law is a less useful subject. They prefer if you do maths or history or economics. Don't do law if you want to apply for law, right? So don't do these subjects. Okay, applied subjects. These are applied subjects. Applied subjects. They do not provide sufficient academic rigor. They don't have sufficient academic rigor. This is a more technical. So accounting, dance, DT, ICT, music technology. Only do this. You cannot get into top universities with these things. But of course, if you are a dancer, then you should go to the Royal Dance Academy or go to Juilliard or somewhere. But dance is a talent, isn't it? You know, some people have that talent, some people don't. So if you are a talented dancer, then please be a dancer, right? Okay. If you are, I have a student who applied to us. I just received an email from the mother. He is a football goalkeeper for the football national team, right? And they want to come out of school for 17, 20 days. And I was like, I'm sorry, but if you want to aim for top universities, this is a problem because there's like 20 days out of school is too long. Maybe you want to concentrate on being a professional footballer if that's where you want to go. So you have to decide what you want to do. Sometimes you can't have all. You know, I wish we can have everything, but you know, if I can have everything, I will have a Ferrari right now. But we can't have everything, right? So we have to choose. We have to choose what we can have and what we can't do, right? So if you are a talented dancer, then please go for that. Then you also got music, art and design, physical education. So this is only facilitating if you want to do music, if you want to do art and design, if you want to do PE, sports, then this is facilitating subject. Otherwise, this is less useful. They're not relevant. So don't do them unless you want to do music, art and design, and so on. Then these are some of the other examples. So engineering, these are the subjects you should be doing. Computer science, mathematics. So these are the subject combinations you should be looking at. Okay? Engineering, computer science, mathematics. Then we have medicine, biochemistry, psychology. Notice that mathematics is for everything. How great is mathematics? If those of you don't like mathematics, please start loving it. You will need mathematics in life, honestly. Right? Please look at mathematics, love it. Anybody has a hate relationship with mathematics, start loving it. Make yourself to love it, okay? Then you have economics, management and business, law, PPE, sociology. Again, notice mathematics, right? You can see. For economics, even further maths, because there are universities like LSE prefer further maths for mathematics. Architecture, again, mathematics. But this one you got art, right, for architecture. Okay, how many subjects should I take? 3 or 4? Most UK universities, 3 A-levels. Expectations of top UK universities, 3 A-levels plus 1 AS levels or 4 A-levels. Offers are still normally on 3 A-levels, but it's either 3 plus 1 AS or 4 A-levels. Non-UK universities have different requirements. You may have to take 4 A-levels, like Hong Kong universities require 4, Singapore University requires 4, Australia requires 4, UK universities 3. So that is why at OIC we do 4 as a minimum, because you just can't, you don't know which other universities they want to apply to. Also, you can start with 4. If things don't work out, you can go back to 3, right? So, you know, start more, then go less, right? So always, because, you know, you can never connect the dots forwards. You can only connect the dots backwards. What that means is you have to try as many things, and then you sit down and reflect one day of all the things that worked for you and all the things that didn't work for you. But you cannot connect the dots forward. You can only connect the dots backwards, okay? Taking 5 subjects will not help to strengthen your application. It does not help. It may be a disadvantage because it limits your time, you know, time constraints. Don't forget you have supercurricular activities as well. You can start with 5 if you're able to cope, then drop to 4, and eventually maybe drop to 3 if that's what happens. But if you're able, you have the ability, can manage your time, you can start with 5, right? But this is risky because 5 is a lot of work, okay? This is why with IB, you're doing 7, right? So there's a lot of work that you got to do. Right, is a summary, a checklist. So I have strong GCSE grades. I have developed the necessary skills to study the subject. My combination includes at least 1 facilitating subject, I would say 2. My combination includes all the compulsory subjects for my chosen degree. My subjects will help me develop skills that are relevant to my chosen degree. My combination is not too narrow. My combination is not too practical. This is a checklist. Make sure you follow this checklist, right? Good. Now, what can you do now, from now? What can you do? Right, number 1. Start the process of career mapping. Very, very important. Number 2, consider university options. Number 3, master the idea of working in parallel of your academic and career. So parents, when your children bring your school report to you, don't just ask them about, oh, what's your grades? Ask them, what did they do for their reading? What blogs have they written? What books they have read, right? What activities have they taken part in? Ask them that. Don't just look at their grades. So let's stop looking at the school report and just assessing the grades. Ask them questions related to their supercurricular. When you go for parents-teacher meetings, ask them about their supercurricular. What have they been doing in school, in their supercurricular? And then speak to your children. Ask them to reflect on their experiences, right? Ask them to write about their experiences. That's important. Don't just look at the grades. Right? Knowledge is not the only thing that's key. Learning biology, learning about the heart is not going to be is important, but what is more important is learning about the heart and then understanding other factors around what that heart means. So, for example, diseases, conditions, what happens, in certain circumstances about the heart. Not just learning about the heart and that's it, right? It's about exploring beyond that. It's going into the depths of learning a particular material, right? So, academic and supercurricular. This is the differentiation is key, okay? So, academic and supercurricular. Academic are classroom lessons, regular testing, personalized revision timetable, possible additional tuition. We have put this under academic as well, but actually this falls under supercurricular and academic. But point 1, 2, 3, 4 is what, as parents, we always get school report on, right? Point 1 to point 4. But I would like you now to focus on this as well. So joining clubs and societies, reading, membership with academic bodies and institutions. Like, do they have access to journal, subscription? Please get your children subscriptions, The Economist, The New Scientist, the medical journals. Get them to read those journals, write about it. Attending guest lectures, academic conferences. You never know the one book, one lecture, one event, one activity that can change your life, right? Online courses, work observation, volunteering, personal development, growth mindset, very important. Do your child have a growth mindset? If they don't, need to fix it. You must not have a fixed mindset, must have a growth mindset. If they don't have it, let's work on their growth mindset. Taking part in university-style competitions, essay writing competitions, right? Very important that your child is differentiated. They have their own unique passions. Be proactive. Your personal portfolio will mold itself. Our job as educators and parents is to make sure that our child becomes self-learners. That is our job. That is our aim. When you go and see your doctor, the doctor's job is to make sure, not to keep you happy, but is to make sure that you have the quality of life. That is the job for a doctor. So as educators, our job is that they become self-learners, right? Because then they're able to that's how they become a wow student and they get to top universities. Right, how we can support you? Right, from year 7 to year 13, this is basically what the students need to be doing. So year 7, build up your career knowledge, wider reading, supercurricular and exploratory activities, work experience, choose the right GCSE, IGCSE A-level subjects, excel academically, strategize and focus your preparation, choose your universities. Year 13, sit your aptitude test, submit application, attend interviews, obtain offers. After year 13, you obtain your A-level results, meet your conditions, start university. This is the pathway to your dream university and career. Right, then you have career exploration, career sessions, social science, commerce and humanities, physical science and maths, health and biological sciences. So again, this is basically, you have to start exploring. All these things come under supercurricular, right? Then also admission test. By the time you go to year 10 onwards, you want to practice your admission test. You want to practice your essay writing skills, your subject-specific cognitive skills, and then you want to start mentoring. So maybe you want to get some help in supercurricular coaching or preparation for university interviews or admission test. So when you concentrate on children to get additional tuition, please also, if your children need additional help, get this help. This is the coaching they need to get. Supercurricular coaching, admission test coaching, interview coaching. So it's not just coaching for knowledge, it's coaching for skills as well. That's very important, right? Then you have at year 13, this is where you become more strategic because you are submitting your university application. We can help you. We can give you consultancy. We can help you with strategizing your university application, university choices, personal statement, interview coaching. In fact, I am setting up a new project with Crew to Homeschool, and the project is going to be academic tracking. Also, we're going to do career tracking. So what that means is besides their academic help that they get, they will also have a book to read every month, and they have to write a blog. And after they've written the blog, our mentors will give feedback. So for example, if let's say they read the book, The Selfish Gene, which is Richard Dawkins' book. So they read the book, they write the blog about what they've read, then they will provide the blog to us. Our mentors will give them feedback on what they have written, and then what other things they have to consider, what's the next step. So our mentors will be providing that skills coaching on reading and writing. Now, I know that sounds very basic, right? Your children know how to read, your children know how to write, but you've got to write in a reflective manner, in a comparative and analytical manner. That is key. That is how you get yourself from a good student to become that wow student, right? So we're going to start that. We're going to start that with Crew to Homeschool. We'll be launching that soon. And the competition that I was talking about, the Global Space Design Challenge, this is what I'm saying. Each one of you should take part in this. It's absolutely amazing. It's with Imperial College London. It's very hard to get a place. If you want to get a place, you can contact me. I can connect you with Imperial, or you can contact through Crewpong as well, at Crew to Homeschool, right? They can help you to get a place. This is absolutely amazing competition, okay? Please take part in this. If you want any academic support, we can help through Oxford Science Studies. They do academic revision. If you want any career support, we do that through OIC Academy, okay? So we provide both knowledge and skill support, right? That's the key thing, knowledge and skill. Okay, I think I've come to the end. Hopefully this session today has given you an awareness of what it takes to get into top universities, but more importantly, how you can help your child as well moving forward. And for the children in this group today, I really hope that you take some action points. A, read. B, look at your supercurricular portfolio, start building your supercurricular portfolio, attend lectures, take part in competitions, write the blogs, please, apply for work experience, do voluntary work. All these things will help you. Extracurricular activities is important, but is not as important as supercurricular at this stage of your life when you get to examination years. So when you are in year 11, year 12, year 13, supercurricular is so important. Before year 11, of course, you can carry on with extracurricular, but starting from year 11, you must have supercurricular, right? But if I were you, I would play clever. The clever thing to do is do extracurricular, do supercurricular, do academics, right? Academics plus super plus extra, all three. So when you receive the report card, don't just look at academic results. Look at extracurricular, look at supercurricular. And find out from your children how they're doing in all those, right? Okay, any questions? I don't know whether if we have time, I can show you the admission test questions. Would you like to see that again? Yes? Okay, the children, some of them already seen that yesterday. But I will show you again. Can you find that slide? I will show you the admission test questions and interview questions again, just to give you an awareness. But whilst Mason is looking for that, can I ask if there's any questions you would like to know? I hope the reason why you're not asking me questions is because I'm very good. I hope that's the reason. Not because I bored you to death. I appreciate there's a lot of information. I appreciate that. But I only have constraints of time and I have a multitude of information to give you. So I hope even though it might be overwhelming and overload with lots of information, perhaps when you go home tonight and you start digesting the information, everything will make sense and everything can be put together. But really, my aim here is to give you the awareness and give you some advice in terms of what you can be doing next. Because time is of essence, that you have very limited time before you apply to university, right? So that's very, very important. Oh, go back now. Yeah. Does it come up? It should come up now. So you can. I don't know why it's not coming up. It's not coming up again.
Okay. What do you mean? Do I need to press anything? You wanted it? Yeah.
I don't know why it's not coming up. It was okay just now.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we gave a printout, right, for the admission test questions?
They get the super curricular.
I thought there was an admission test. No? No, it wasn't this one. It's this one.
Okay.
It's not coming up. It's not.
Yeah, thanks. Present. No, it's not coming up.
That's weird.
That's okay. Let me open on the desktop one. From here. Okay, this one.
No,
Yeah, 1 second.
no, nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's maybe
you
that's
have to open
the
it,
desktop. Okay, right. So we'll go back to this question. If you look at a clock and the time is 9:45, what is the angle between the hour and the minute hands? Right, just to give you some idea. Some of the students here have already done these questions. Those of you who haven't done this question, maybe you want to try and see whether, I think we did this. This was D, wasn't it? Right? We've already done this. Let's go to the next one. How would you answer this one? Two neighbors work for the same company and share the journey to work, driving alternately in strict rotation. They work Monday to Friday each week and every other Saturday. They always work the same Saturdays as each other. What is the maximum number of days either of them has to drive in a calendar month? So those of you who haven't done this before, it gives you some context. Who was here yesterday again? Right, okay, so would you like to try? What do you think? No? Okay. Right, so the answer to this is C. The maximum number of days in a calendar month is 31. Each day of the week occurs 4 times during the first 28 days of every month. 2 of these days will be working Saturdays. It's 29th, 30th, and 31st of a 31 month are all weekdays. Or if the 31st is a working Saturday, the number of working days during the month will be this. In a month when the neighbors work the maximum 25 days, one of them will drive 12 times and the other one will drive 13 times. So these questions are not in a textbook. It requires you to think, and you have to have speed and accuracy because it's like 60 seconds or 1 minute and 20 seconds. So speed and accuracy, right? This is my question. I wrote this for the consortium. My students have not forgiven me for writing this question. So whenever my friend Alistair writes to me, he does so entirely in code. He always uses symbols for letters, but changes the code every time. So any particular symbol does not necessarily stand for the same letter of the alphabet on the next occasion he writes. I always start to crack the code by looking at how he has written his name at the end of his email. For instance, last time he was this. In my last email to him, I asked him when he intends to visit me next. Today, I receive a reply consisting of just one word as follows. What can we assume that he intends to appear? So you have to, it's a very wordy question. You have to break up the text and then figure out what the answer is. You know, my father is a dentist, and he went to a good university in the UK, King's College London. And obviously, I went to university. I didn't have to do any of this admission test. And neither did my father had to do any of this admission test. Unfortunately, because of the level of competition, universities have changed their framework of what they're looking for. That is not just academics. They want that thinking skills, right? That is why you have admission test. I mean, you know, there are lots of people who graduated from top universities who've never done admission tests, who've never had to do such high degree of specificity in their interviews, but now they're testing thinking skills. That is far beyond just the academic curriculum, right? So this is an example of a question that I wrote. It's just, yeah, it's a, and the answer here is E. The key thing here is to look at, not to be distracted by the symbols making up his name. You simply need to identify which one of the option has repeated letters in the positions of the repeated symbols, and then you get some time. But yeah, just to give you some context of questions, this is a maths question. Janet's mother has sent her to the greengrocers to buy oranges. Janet's mother knows the oranges were 12p each yesterday and gave Janet the exact money to buy a certain number. When Janet gets there, she finds there's a special offer. If you buy 8 or more, the price of all oranges bought is reduced by 2p each. She finds she can now buy 2 more oranges than her mother thought with the money given. How many can she buy? Right? So again, it's a maths question, but a very wordy maths question. You will find maths in the UK, because it's like statistics, for example, is very wordy. You know, mechanics also is quite, less wordy than statistics. So it's very important that you understand the language as well. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to answer this. Yesterday, we've already done the session. The answer is C. I think you have the printout of admission test, right? You have the printout of these questions? Do you have the printout of these questions? No? Okay, we will send you an email with this printout. But this one is an easy one. Maybe you can see shapes. The rule of which set does the test shape follow? Set A, set B, or neither? So you have to look at this test shape and see whether it sits within set A, set B, or neither. So there are many admission tests. Let me go back and just show you the differences admission tests. There are many admission tests for different courses. Engineering, economics, law, medicine, natural sciences. There are many admission tests. This list is not exhaustive. There's so many admission tests for different courses, right? Just going back to this question, I don't know whether you thought of the answer. Set A, set B, or neither. So you look at the test shape and you see whether it fits in there. And the answer is C, it neither. Right? You also have essay questions. So these are essay questions. So you have multiple choice questions, essay questions, and open-ended questions. There are 3 types of questions in admission test, right? So you have to be prepared for that. Interview questions, as I said, they can ask you 3 types of questions: general interview, subject-specific interview, or obscure abstract questions like these. These are abstract questions, right? So they ask you something like, oh, how many grains of sand are there in the world? You don't learn that in the textbook. You have to figure out how many grains of sand are there in the world. There's a way of figuring that out. Like how many keys are there on the piano in something like in New York or something? There's another question. Another one, tell me about a banana. There's also a question, tell me about banana, right? So they ask you a lot of abstract questions. Or they can ask you subject-specific questions. So these are subject-specific questions, right? This is to do with natural science. So they give you the graph, they give you data. This is subject-specific. So they ask you general interview question, subject-specific questions, abstract questions. So they are the 3 types of interview questions. You have panel interview, 2-to-1 or 3-to-1, or in medicine, you have panel interview and you have mini multiple interviews, like a station, like speed dating. You have 10 stations, you go from one station to the next station, they ring the bell, move to the next station, and so on. So lots of different types of interviews, lots of different types of admission tests. So lots of strategy, basically, right? Individual strategy, right? Okay. So I think hopefully that's given you that context there. I will leave with my this doesn't have my email address there, but I can give you my card if you have any questions. Can I just ask the students yesterday, I gave you a task to do. Did you try the thinking skill task at the end? Did you guys try about the camel and the hat? Yeah, I gave you the thinking. Can you go back to that? You remember? Did you try those questions, the camel one? Two of you here, two at the back, three there. Did you do that? You don't remember? Okay. Can you please this time take the picture of the question? I really want you to try that as homework, okay? This one. Oh, again. Please take the picture of these questions. I really, really want you to try this, please.
It's loading once again.
This one. You remember this? You forgot this one? You didn't forget. You got this one, right? But you haven't tried the question. Okay. So I want you to try this question. The camel question. Anyone who answers it first and sends me an email with the answer correctly gets a prize. Okay. Well, I haven't told you what the prize is, but just try. But just send me the question. We get a prize. Where's Krutu Homeschool? I'll tell them because I'll be gone, so they have to give you the prize. Is Krupong here? Can you call him? Right, have you taken the picture of this? Yes? Okay, one more question. I want you to do this question also. This one. Can you do this question? I don't know, they have the brain space to do it now. This one. Have you taken the picture? I'm setting them homework to do. Okay. And I told them that the first person to answer the question correctly and send the answer with the email gets a prize. Okay. But I'm letting you know because I'll be gone. So you need to give the prize. Okay. Because I'm leaving on Wednesday. So, okay. Right. Next question also, one more. Last one, yeah. This one is, follow on from the other question. So there are three questions, yeah? The camel and two hat questions. Camel question and two hat questions. Try this. It's very interesting.
So we get the prize and we get one of them right?
You have to get all three right. Okay, look, it depends. It's on competition, right? So it has to be a winner. There has to be a winner, right? Because remember, in competition, you may not be absolute genius, but you are competing. So the best wins out of the competition, right? It's very different to being an absolute. There's no such thing as absolute. If you're absolute, that means you're perfect, you're a genius, you know everything. But when you're competing, is that the best wins out of that, right? So if, for example, somebody answers 1 out of 3, then that person wins. If somebody gets 3 out of 3. So put it this way, if you send me first, if you are the first to send, and you get 1 out of 3, but somebody sends later, but gets 3 out of 3, I'm going to give to that person who sends 3 out of 3. Okay? I think that's fair. Right? Huh? Oh, yeah, I need to set a deadline. So, Krupong, what's the deadline? You choose the deadline. I don't mind. I'm happy for today, but I don't know whether they get to or not.
Maybe tomorrow morning, 10 a.m.
Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.
10 a.m.
Huh?
10 a.m. 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Is that okay?
I'm fine. I worry about these kids. Okay, I tell you what. Let's make it fair. Let's do it. What today is what time now? Already 5 o'clock, right? So you have to go home, and Bangkok traffic is bad. So let's do it till Tuesday. So Monday, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Huh? Oh yeah, they should send to you.
Oh yeah, my email, right?
Yeah, because you have the Excel
Okay,
sheet with the
I'll write it down.
information. Yeah,
So Tuesday, 5 p.m.
5 p.m. Tuesday, 5 p.m. the deadline. So which means that you don't have to send soon. The person who sends the correct answers, right, out of the three. Please try yourself, okay? Don't get anybody to do it for you. This is a question of courage and just trying competition, okay? You get a prize. So
Okay, please send your answer to paria@apsthai.net. Right?
yeah,
You need them to
APS
send
yeah.
through email, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then you can send me the answers.
Okay,
yeah.
sure.
Sorry. Oh, no, I don't. Yeah, Tuesday, 5 p.m. the deadline. Okay, so you have tonight, you have all day tomorrow, and you have Tuesday until 5 p.m. So that should give you enough time to think. Okay, just to tell you, these questions are asked at interview with logical thinking skills. You don't get 2 days to answer these questions. You get 40 minutes. Within 40 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes to answer the question, right? So it's you're getting more time. Okay, please try, guys. Please do try. I'm really looking forward to receiving your answers. But anyway, I really want to thank you all for coming today, and I wish everybody all the best in their journey. If I can be help to you in any way, I'm very happy to help you. If you want me to be part of your journey, I'm very happy to help you. But if you don't, that's fine too. But the most important thing is that you do your best, never give up. Fight for your ambitions. Whether you win or lose doesn't matter, honestly. And your parents will always love you, no matter what, okay? So don't worry about the outcomes. Just worry about the process, the journey. Enjoy the journey. You've got nothing to lose, as what Peldon says, right? And what is the other alternative? Not to do anything, right? So this inaction is also an action. Is a choice. Inaction is a choice. You make a choice, okay? So I really hope you do your best. And let's see what the outcomes are. When 5 years from now, you'll be very happy if you persevere and you push yourself, you'll be very happy that you did it. Doesn't matter which university you end up, because that will give you resilience. Resilience is for life, right? So that's important, okay? All the best, guys. Swatika. Kapun ka. Yeah, yesterday they were teaching me new slang words. What was it? Kern pui mui. They were teaching me slang words or something yesterday. Kern pui mui. It's a trending word, I heard, yes. All the best, guys. Thank you very much. Oh, if you want my contact details, it's here. Here, thank you.